Hi, these are the answers to the graphing functions worksheet. What we're doing here is graphing these lines like we normally do with slope and y-intercept, but we have a restriction, and it kind of like walls put in place. So for this one, we're only going to graph it between 0 and 4. So if you kind of think about going down the 0, here's x equals 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, here's x equals 4. What I like to do is I just kind of put those lines there, and I'm only going to graph the line now between those two walls there. So where does this graph start? It starts at -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, -5. Make a dot. And then we're going to do a slope of 2. So we're going to go up 2 and over 1. Up 2 over 1. And I'll just do it all the way between the walls. And then you only connect between here and here. You don't extend it past 0 this way. You don't extend it past 4 that way. We're only going to have it in between those two spots there. Okay. Same thing here. I see that this is going between -2. So I go over to -2, make a wall there. I go to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make a wall there. We're only going to graph in between those two walls. So this starts at +2 and goes up 3 over 2. So up 3 over 2. Up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 2. And I could kind of make a line now through those points. And that's all I want. I don't want it to go past this wall. I don't want it to go past that wall. Okay. Same thing here. We're going between -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -6. Make my wall there. And then +2. 1, 2, make a wall there. Okay. This one starts at -1, so make a dot at -1, and from there we go up 1 and over 2. We can go down 1, left 2 if we want to kind of finish that idea, but again, we're only drawing the line between the two walls. You don't want to go past it either side. And then for number 4, we're going between 0 and 3. So 0 is right here. 3, 1, 2, 3 is right there. We're going to start at 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. And we're going to go down 5 and over 1. Down 5 over 1. Down 5 over 1. Run your line through those points. And again, don't go beyond the walls. So that's the idea. It's graphing lines like we've graphed before, but now we're just staying in between these areas here when we do it. All right. And then we have a graph already given to us, and we were asked to find some information off of it. So first it says describe the domain. Now the domain would be your x values. What are x values here? Now if you looked and said this looks like it starts at -4 and ends at 5, then you may have said that x has to be between -4 and 5. If you saw these arrows, then maybe you thought that this would keep going forever and ever in both of those directions. And so you might have said all real numbers. I wouldn't mark off either way because it really just depends on how you interpreted that. I would say either of those are fine, depending on what you thought. If you think it stops there and stops there, the first one. If you think it keeps going, then the second one. As far as the range goes, we're talking about the y values now. And again, if you thought this stopped here, then you probably said between -5 and 3. Because it gets up to 3 and stops there. It's only contained in that. Or perhaps you said that y is less than or equal to 3 if you felt like this kept going. And therefore it could be anything way down there if it wanted to. Again, one or the other depending on how you thought. Evaluate f of 3. This means go to 3, find your spot on the graph. It looks like it's at -2. That's f of 3. Find the x value 3, go to this graph, and then see what it equals. Same thing with f of 0. Go to 0, find it on the graph, say what it equals. Okay. For what value of x is f of x equal to 1? So now we're going backwards. We're saying when does the function equal 1? You can see that it equals 1 at -1. And then it equals 1 again right here. Looks like a little past 1 if you said like 1.2 or something close to that. Maybe again, we won't split hairs on that. It looks like it's just a little bit past it, right? And for what value of x does f of x equal -4? So now you come across a -4. It looks like it's between -3, -4, maybe -3.5. And then again over here looks like maybe 4.5. But again, if you thought it was just a little shy of that, we're not going to get all mad about it. Just as long as you understand that when we say when does it equal -4, we're talking about when does it equal it on this level here. Okay. Same thing here. Now this one doesn't give you the arrows, so you do have to have it stop. We're going from -3 to +3 here for the domain, because that's the start of it on the left and the end of it on the right. As far as the range goes, it's from 0 to 5. And that's just a look at what's covered on the Y part. When we say G of 2, we go to 2, go up. Looks like it hits at a value of 2. When we say G of -3, we go to -3, go up. Looks like it hits at a value of 5 there. When does this graph equal 2? So go to 2, and it looks like it's at -2 and at +2. And when does this graph equal -3? You go to -3, and there is nothing there, right? So we would say never.